Let's hear about the real Jim. It's Monday morning, you wake up. How do you start your work day? Well, I actually don't really start my work day when I wake up. I get up about 5 in the morning on Mondays when I'm in town, and I walk to the gym. I have a fitness class with a really cool instructor for an hour. I walk back to my apartment. I have 2 cappuccinos, some yogurt, some fruit, maybe a little bit of toast, chat with my wife, look at the New York Times, Wall Street Journal, drive to work, get my team together on Monday. We chat it up, share plans for the week, look at what happened this weekend, look at all of our projects, have some fun, and break up the meeting. Then I usually get on an airplane. Which brand is producing the best work right now? You know, it's the year of the Olympics, and I actually think the work that Toyota is doing around the Olympics is pretty remarkable. And it's beautiful creative work, it's purpose-oriented, and it makes a statement about the company and who they are and what they value and what they're trying to do and their place in the world. So I think it's really inspiring for their people. I think it's inspiring for all of us. And I really hope they stick with it, because I think it's a big idea that can last for decades, maybe forever. What career advice would you give to your 25-year-old self if you could go back in time? I have kids in their 20s, so it's a very relevant question. I would say find something that plays to your strengths almost 100% of the time. And frankly, the reason I left P&G after many years, I had a fabulous career there, great time, was I didn't think I was leveraging my strengths as much as I could. And a friend and counselor, her name is Barbara Breidendorf, said to me, you know, it's time to leave P&G and do what you love 100% of the time. That's happiness, that's success, and that's what everyone should try to do. So try to find something. Don't worry about the money, don't worry about the title, don't worry about the career path. Find something where you feel like you're in your zone almost all the time. Ooh, what are the brand campaigns you wish you had worked on? Well, how much time do we have? I think about the brands that I feel like have impacted my life. REI, you know, the outdoors company, I think the work they've done to get people outside is really cool. I'd love to work on that. What a purpose, what a great thing to be a part of. And you can just feel the momentum when they are actively kind of behind that campaign. So that's one. I've always been a Nike guy. I'm wearing them right now. And I think they've just done work to make me feel inspired as an athlete throughout my life. So, and I just think they just never disappoint. The work is always brilliant, it's insightful, it's challenging. So if I had to do my career again, that would certainly be a brand that I would think really hard about being a part of. And then, besides those two, you know, the great brands of the world, Apple, obviously, we all admire them. It's overused, but it should be overused. They just keep surprising. They keep being a bigger part of people's lives. They keep humble. And when they make mistakes, they admit it. So, and I know a lot of people, a lot of friends who worked on Apple over the years, and they're very proud of it. They're very, very proud of it. What do or did you look for when partnering with an agency? But what I looked for when I was at P&G and what I look for now is chemistry, trust, and I looked for agencies that complemented us. And I still do that today. You know, I worked for P&G, pretty left brain, pretty rational, pretty driven, pretty competitive. So the agencies that we needed were highly creative, were challenging us, were pushing us out of our comfort zone. We're sometimes setting expectations for creative work that were way higher than ours. So that's what I look for. I look for the yin and yang. And even in my life now, when I hire agencies, I look for someone who's very much not like us, but yet we share a common vision, chemistry, values, and we enjoy working together. How should leaders spend their time? I just came from a workshop with a bunch of next generation agency leaders. We talk about this a lot. Most leaders, and I would include myself in making this mistake a lot, most leaders don't spend their time on what they are explicitly trying to do. So if you ask most leaders, what are they trying to do in their business? What are they trying to do in their brand? What legacy do they want to leave? What impact are they making? What do they hope people will say about them 3 years from now? It's not what their calendar shows. We get really sucked into the activity trap, as my friend Tim Armstrong calls it, and we react to our calendar or email, and we do not follow what our priorities are for the business. So leaders should spend their time and explicitly do this. Look at their calendar, compare it to what they're trying to do in their business. And my guess is with most leaders, it doesn't sync. So the challenge is to make it sync and take control of your time and do that explicitly, share it with your team, and ask them to hold you accountable for it. Who continues to inspire you now and how? You know, I think inspiration should happen every day. We should be open to it. We should keep our eyes and ears open. I think not a day goes by in my life where I'm not inspired by something or someone. I just had a great week. I met some people at Shell, at Unilever, was very inspired by what they had to say. But I have to say, if there's one person who I just think is remarkable, it's Roger Federer. And when I was at P&G and we bought Gillette, we brought him on as a spokesperson. So I've had dinner with him a few times at our home. I've seen him play many, many times at Wimbledon, at the US Open, in Cincinnati. And the guy is gracious in defeat. He's gracious in victory. He loves what he does. He's kind to everyone. He's a great father. He's a great husband. He's an amazing ambassador for the game. He's been at the top of the game for, what now, 15 years? And I can't wait to see what he does after he stops tennis. So he's just, you know, a bright light in our world, and I think he's remarkable, and I continue to watch every match I can of his just because I think he's just simply a marvelous human being and a great inspiration. How do big brands compete with startup brands? This is a big issue. This is a question we get every week. And I think a lot of big brands are kind of the classic deer in the headlights when they think about competing with founder-led, craft, story brands. They feel, I think, frustrated and they feel a little bit hopeless. And that doesn't have to be the way. Big brands should become more human. They have huge assets, they have huge advantages versus craft brands, but their weakness is they're plasticine, they're neutral, they don't have humanity, they don't have personality, they don't have a touch. And if they can get over that hurdle and open themselves up, show their faces, show who they are, show their values, show where they work, how they work, what their teams are like, what the culture is like, then they will blossom. And I think we have more examples of that, but we need to see more of the big companies, the big food, the big drink companies, the big CPG companies. The car companies are starting to do that. Toyota's effort is showing more of their personality. That's how you compete with the upstart brands who have stories, who have personalities, So you have to, you know, open up, be human. That's good business, and that's what people want to see. How do you change the mindset of an organization to be more innovative, creative? The biggest barrier to being innovative and creative is this epidemic of fear and this epidemic of making a mistake, fear of making a mistake. We've been talking about this for as long as I've been working, this fear of failure, fear of making mistakes. We've made precious little progress against this in most organizations. You know, Amazon is a company we all admire, we all talk about. They're remarkable, they're incredible. Even at their size and scale, it's absolutely okay and expected to make mistakes as long as you're trying to improve the life of the customer. They're a great beacon for how other companies can morph and change. In so many organizations, people are afraid one mistake will take them off their career track. So the way you be innovative and creative is you talk about that. You have a strategy to deal with that. You have a budget for experiments. You actively promote, talk about new ideas, creativity. It's okay to stretch. In fact, it's expected to stretch, and not everything's going to work. Venture capitalists expect 90% of what they do to not work. We need more of that mentality in our large organizations. What is the most overrated marketing trend? Well, this may surprise you, but I think the most overrated marketing trend is purpose. And I believe deeply in brands with purpose excelling in their business and attracting talent. We have too many brands who talk purpose, maybe do a nice ad or two, or a nice social marketing program, but they don't bake their purpose into the daily work of their people. So we have to stop talking about purpose and start acting on purpose. And it's a long-term company idea that should influence the behavior of everyone who works in the enterprise. So it's overrated because we're not acting on it. If we start acting on it more broadly, then things will move, business will change, business will be better, and people's work life will be better. What is the best career advice you received? I think the best career advice I've ever received is when I've had mentors and leaders say to me, go for it. You know, there's a woman I worked for many years ago when I was in the States. She said, go to Prague. An opportunity to go to Eastern Europe in the early days. Actually, I got career advice in business school to go to P&G. And I thought about that. I wasn't planning to do that. I did. Fabulous. And I had career advice to leave P&G. And that was the right time. And I've loved my life since then. So, and we should think about that also as mentors and leaders, helping people make those jumps at key milestones. It's often you're too close to see it, to know you should do it. So, so I like giving career advice these days. I like helping young people out. My team does that too, but go for it. And I'm glad I did.